So till now we have seen two kinds of vibration, which were the transverse vibration on the string and the longitudinal vibration on a bar. So now we are coming to shaft. So you also so remember in some video I have also talked about what's the difference between string or a cable, rod, bar, shaft, and other things like beam, column, a chain, etc. So these are very important. So I'm now writing that these are torsional vibration, but one may not mention in the question that the shaft is going to have torsional vibration. If a shaft is mentioned, it already means it is going to have torsional vibrations. So this is the general equation we have known earlier also. We can derive it again, but this is the equation that is all the indications are given here. So T means the torque, tau means the stress, that is the shear stress, J means polar moment of inertia, that is along moment of inertia along the z direction. So you must remember how we'll define the rod also, and what are the z axis for us. And this is going to be tough now. So this is absolutely coming upside, this is absolutely going on the right, and this is the in plane or going inwards to my paper. So this can be my z. So then if that is the z, then my polar moment of inertia is izz. Then L is the length of shaft, theta is the rotational angle or twist angle, G is shear modulus, R is the radius of cross section of shaft. So it can have a varying cross section also. Now the torque is equal to moment m, and hence I'll use this equation same and write the moment is equal to moment x comma t is equal to gj. So gj del theta by del x, or del theta by that's del theta by del x. So I've taken a differential change for a small element. So let's come to a generalized shaft, which is going to have a varying cross section. So this is how I'm going to represent it, and I'm taking a small element out of it on which moment is or internal moment will be acting, an external moment or torque is applied to the shaft. So this will lead to some distribution of moments, internal moments. So these are the internal moments at first cross section m, second cross section m plus del m. So del m is the differential change along the length del x, or the unit length of the element. The theta is the deformation or twist angle. Theta plus d theta is the deformation or twist angle, and the fx comma t dx, that means this is the force into distance dx. So that is the again a torque which is acting. So I'm writing a torque equation, a torque balance or moment balance equation, and these are the external torques which were acting, and this is the inner rotary inertia. Since it is going to have a rotation, torsional vibration means it is a rotation, or shaft all anyways has a rotation. So that's what we are going to use. We'll use rotary inertia, where I naught is the mass moment of inertia, MOI is moment of inertia, and translational inertia will be, we have seen it earlier also, rho a del x, that is the mass into del square u by del x square. So the mass has been defined as rho into volume, and volume is a dx. In free vibration, so we have got the equation. If we have free vibration, that means f is going to be 0, and in that case my del m, so this m also gets cancelled, so I'm left with del m is equal to I naught into dx del square theta by del t square. So that's all we have. So I can write del m or dm is equal, the total change in moment is equal to partial change in moment with respect to x into dx, and I already know this moment equation. So for a uniform shaft, if the area is also going to remain constant, or my gj are also remaining constant, so I already have the equation for m using the other theories, and now I got an equation for del m by del x, or the total change in m. So I'm going to substitute this m value over here, this m value over here, and I've got this. For uniform shaft, the g and j values remain constant, so I can take them out, and I got the original equation. So this is the original equation which we have derived from the force balance, and this is the same equation we are getting using just the other theories which we have known earlier. So this is completely different approach. Until now, this was the complete different approach earlier, and the two equations are exactly same. So this is the final equation. Gj del square theta by del x square is equal to I naught del square t theta by del t square. So now for uniform shaft, we have got the equation. I is rho j, and if I make manipulations and I get g by rho is equal into del square theta by del x square is equal to I naught, this equation. Now I'm going to define c as square root of g by rho, and the solution again. How can we get the solution? So I'm going to again reiterate the same part. We'll assume we'll do the separation of variable, assume the theta which is x comma t function. So let me write. I had a theta, sorry. So I had a theta which was a function of x comma t. Now I'm going to separate the variables and write theta as a function of x into t in a function of t only. Now I'm going to substitute this condition over here. Then I'll get temporal terms and spatial terms separately in second order partial. So I have converted second order partial differential equation. After substituting, I'll get second order complete differential equation, but two second order complete differential equation. Then these are equated to omega square. I can separate these equations. Since they are decoupled, I'll get the solution directly, and this is the final solution which I have compiled. So the theta of x is over here and t of t is over here. So this is the same equation which we are getting since long ago. So this is the solution, spatial terms and temporal terms. Now we can look at the boundary condition terms, and in the next video I'll explain a numerical question in which we have to find the boundary conditions. Thank you.